welcome into TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. And today, of course, is time for a Barcelona news round. We're going to be discussing everything from the world of FCB that's going on right now. We are also going to be discussing the upcoming match between Barcelona and Girona in the Supercopa de Catalunya. All of that coming up, and a bit more, of course. Let's do this! But I want to kick off here with some news, of course, that I'm sure you've heard about by now on Sergi Samper, and I just want to give you the full story on this and my thoughts, because it is really, I think, a very, very sad situation. Basically, Sergi Samper has now had his Barcelona contract completely rescinded. He no longer is contracted to the club, and that was at his own request. His contract originally was due to run out at the end of the season, but Samper asked the club, could they end it now, and they have obliged in doing so. And that now basically means that Sergi Samper is currently a free agent and can link up with another club for absolutely nothing at all. And I can tell you that he is now on the verge, and very, very close indeed to becoming official, joining Japanese club Vissel Kobe. And you will recognise that name simply because when Sergi Samper joins Vissel Kobe, he'll be linking up with none other than Andres Iniesta and David Villa. So that's going to be very, very exciting indeed. A new journey there for Sergi Samper. And he was in a press conference today. It was very sad, of course. He said, after wearing the Barcelona shirt for 18 years of my life, I was encouraged by this club, I was helped by this club, and it is the club of my life. I will always love Barcelona. Now I will start a new adventure, a new journey. Forza Barça, today and always. Sergi Samper, emotional today, of course, leaving the club of his life, and it was a really sad thing for him, really, not to make it at Barcelona, because he really did show so much promise. Barcelona B, he made a lot of appearances there, 103 times that he appeared for Barcelona B, and like I say, there was so much talent there. He looked like a player who was tailor-made to really succeed at Barcelona and make it into the first team, but sadly, it never quite happened. His first team debut came back in 2014. He then went on to make 13 appearances for the Barcelona first team, but it was those loan moves that just came at a bad time, at bad clubs, and unfortunately, during those spells, he had really difficult, serious injuries. He was on loan at Granada, he was on loan at Las Palmas, very serious season-ending injuries in many cases, and it was so unlucky because every time there was a chance for Samper, every time there was an opportunity, you look at it, this season, he plays in the Copa del Rey, chance to make an impact, he gets injured, he breaks down. Such a sad situation, but at the end of the day, he's still just 24 years old. There's still time, undoubtedly now, for Sergi Samper to go elsewhere, to make a good career. He said that he wants to start enjoying football again and enjoying being out on the pitch playing regular football, and it was actually Gerard Piqué who informed Samper of the interest from Vissel Kobe, simply because it's the founder of Rakuten. Piqué in very good contact with him. He informed him of the interest, and from there on, Samper said that it moved so quickly. He's grateful for Piqué and the club for helping him with this move, and I have to say, and I'm sure you'll all join me here in wishing Sergi Samper the absolute best in the next stage of his career. And now on to somebody who is at the club and potentially could remain at the club beyond the summer transfer window. Mundo Deportivo with a very big story yesterday afternoon on Ivan Rakitic, and it basically says here that following his good displays in El Clasico against Sevilla, the good form that he's shown of late, Bartomeu now has gone to Rakitic and he's told him there will be an improvement on his current contract at Barcelona. His current deal currently runs until 2021, but Rakitic has been sort of speaking, he's been aiming to secure an improved deal and a longer deal at the club, and of course, should he sign that new contract, that would well and truly put to bed any rumours about him leaving in the summer, leaving for Inter. That would not happen. We're going to have to wait and see whether Rakitic himself wants to say whether that deal is on the table, and of course, whether he remains at Barcelona beyond the summer. And before we move on to some news, of course, ahead of that Supercopa de Catalunya game, I want to talk here about Jean-Claire Todibo, and the reason for that is I want to talk about a report once again this morning that has come out from Sport, and it has been said before that Todibo, since he's come in, has worked so hard. He's been really impressing Barcelona. The coaches, they're so impressed with his attitude, how he's adapted to the club, and it's once again said this morning from Sport that the club are delighted with his progress. Apparently, he's made really good friends within the camp already. He's been linking up with his countrymen, the likes of Longley, Umtiti, Dembele. He's been speaking with them, conversing, of course, with his fellow teammates about adapting to the city and the club, and apparently he gets on really well with everybody in the squad right now. He's already working hard to learn Spanish. He believes that's a really key aspect in developing and really fitting in with his teammates. He's really working hard at that and understanding what's going on the pitch. And when I spoke about Todibo when we signed him, when I looked into his background, that was the one thing that you really felt was going to come to fruition, that hard work. He does seem as though though he's a young man with a very wise head on those shoulders. He's going to work very, very hard, and he's going to get the maximum out of his talent and at every single opportunity that he does have at this club. And apparently, sports say after living in a hotel the first few weeks that he came in, it was a surprise, of course, that he did come in at the end of that January transfer window, and he was in the hotel with his family for the first weeks. But now he's moved into an apartment, he's getting settled, he's getting something permanent, and it does seem now as though it's all set up for him to make his debut in the Supercopa de Catalunya against Girona. And so we will now move on to the Supercopa de Catalunya, which will see Barcelona take on Girona to lift that title, of course, the title of Catalonia, and that will take place tomorrow at 6:45 local time. And usually in these kind of games we face Espanyol, and then it's not really such a friendly feel, but against Girona it should be a good game. Both fans, of course, get on pretty well, they both like each other, the players, of course, should get on fine as well, and it should be a game of football. There shouldn't be any aggressive challenges, there shouldn't be anything over the top. It is as such a friendly-ish occasion, but still they're competing here for a title of Catalonia, and that's very important, of course. And what we should see in this game is some younger players getting an opportunity in the Barcelona shirt, trying to go out there and impress, and particularly, of course, ahead of that Rayo Vallecano game. That's coming this weekend, and you look at it here, if you have a good game here, if you impress the likes of Miranda, the likes of players here who are going to come into the team, and they might give themselves a chance if they play well here against a good side in Girona. It's certainly an opportunity, and some of these players here, they really need it. Because this personally, providing everybody is fit and ready, this is the team that I would start with against Girona in that Super Cup match. I would go with Jasper Cillessen in goal. Important for him to get some game time again. Of course, he's been out injured, but back in there. And like I said before, he deserves every minute that he can get. And maybe in the second half, you could bring on somebody like Iñaki Peña, who also does deserve some minutes. Miranda here is going to be really key at left back. That's a really important player that needs some minutes, and most importantly, needs to impress Ernesto Valverde. He's had a few chances this season. He hasn't impressed in all of them, and I think here, if he can put down a good game, show some good promise, he could definitely start on Saturday against Rayo Vallecano. Also, Moussa Wagué, he's somebody for me who absolutely has to play this game. I've been really excited to see him ever since we signed him. There was some trouble, of course, with his paperwork, but he's all fine now, he's all ready to go, and I'd be really, really excited to see him there in that right back position. The centre-backs, Todibo, I'd love to see him make his debut here in the Barcelona shirt, alongside Jason Murillo, a player that could play on the weekend against Rayo. He's hardly played since he come in, and certainly he needs some minutes and some match sharpness under his belt. And just look at this midfield. This alone makes me very, very excited. Oriol Busquets, Ricky Puig, and Carlos Alenia. That there is beautiful. Oriol Busquets, somebody there who can certainly come into the first team, make an impact. And Ernesto Valverde reportedly is a big fan of Oriol, and I'd love to see him tomorrow. Ricky Puig, of course, we always enjoy seeing him. Every single minute that he's on the field, you can see him impressing. He's had another really good season this year with Barcelona B, some really encouraging moments. And Carlos Alenia, almost now like an established first-team player, somebody with experience, somebody who has had minutes, and again, he's a player that can play here and then follow that up with a game against Rayo on Saturday. And then my front three was a bit more difficult, simply because there's not a lot of players right now within Barcelona B and the younger players who are coming through in that front three positions. I would go here with Felipe Coutinho, and I would say that with a bit of caution. I don't know whether it would be disrespectful to play him in this kind of game, but at the same time, you've got players like Malcolm who will gladly accept the minutes, and I think Coutinho here, he needs something. He needs some games, he needs some minutes, he needs some confidence. If he could score in a game like this, if he could make a nice assist, that could really help him on his way to getting back into form. He needs to play here to really get back into form, and that's why I pick him here in this kind of game. Malcolm, of course, will be so grateful for those minutes, and if he is going to play against Rayo, he needs something here to get him back into the groove, get him back sharp, and I think, again, a goal for him, an assist for him, that could give him some confidence, and definitely he needs the minutes. And then Kevin Prince Boateng, much like Jason Murillo really, in the way that we brought him in January on loan as a player who could help the squad, but he's hardly played. There are injury concerns over Kevin Prince Boateng. It's not yet known whether he's 100% fit to play tomorrow. If he is, though, I would certainly start him, give him some game time. We brought him in, we just as well play him, and that there would be the team that I would pick. And I want to know your thoughts as well, guys. What team would would you go with? But I just think here, these are the players who need the minutes. These are the young players coming up who we really enjoy watching. The likes of Riqui Puig, Oriol Busquets, Miranda, desperate there to make an impression. And I think that team there, against Girona, La Liga opposition, a very decent side, it would be good viewing. And I also want to know, guys, would you like to see a review tomorrow of that match between Barcelona and Girona in the Supercopa de Catalunya? Let me know in the comments down below if you do want to see it, if you would enjoy watching a review of that game. Of course, I will make it for you. I just never want to sort of put things out that you don't want to see. I never want you to think, oh, you know, he's just doing a video for the sake of it now. I only want to do things that you want to see. I only want to upload things that you really enjoy watching. So let me know in the comments down below if you do want to see that, and if you do, consider it done. Thank you, as always, for joining me here today, guys. I will see you soon, of course, with more videos. But until then, as always, Visca El Barça.
Barça! Barça!